Welcome to a special episode of the G5 Hive. And boy, do we have something exciting for you all today. We have a very special guest joining us. In high school, he earned first team all-conference twice during his career and first team all-district honors as a senior. He was a two-time all-Blade team member. He led Central Catholic to the state championship in 2022. In 2023, he signed with the Toledo Rockets, where he played in all 14 games as a true freshman. Kyle Rowland from the Toledo Blade named him his Defensive Breakout Player and an all-MAC performer in 2024 for the Rockets. He is 6 foot even, weighs in at 196 pounds. He wears number 26 for the Toledo Rockets. He is safety Braden Awls. Welcome to the show, Braden.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited for this.
Well, we're glad to have you, and we're super excited to see you and the rest of the Rockets on the field coming here in 2024. I guess spring or fall camp opens up. Is it this week for you or next week?
Next week, like next Monday, we have our first team run. But this week, we have some time off to relax and get our bodies right for camp.
Gotcha. Well, let's start. Who introduced you to the game of football?
Really, when I was younger and growing up 4 or 5 years old, playing the backyard with my brother and my dad. We used to play all night. We had a backyard light, but those were the two people that really got me starting to play football when I was really young.
Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it just football?
I played basketball and football mostly growing up through high school, middle school, and elementary school. But yeah, only football and basketball.
All right. So you're from Sylvania, Ohio, which is right there next to the University of Toledo. So what's it like getting to play near home in front of family and friends and be a hometown hero of sorts?
It's really awesome. My parents, they made it to every single game last year. My friends, cousins, family, they can come to almost every single game. So it's really cool to be able to have that support from my friends and family at least every home game.
I mean, I would assume, proximity and being close to home was a big part of the reason why you chose Toledo to further your education and football career. But were there other reasons why you chose Toledo?
I really like the staff. I like Coach Watson, or my safeties coach. He's one of the best coaches I ever had, and I really bonded with him well. And him and the rest of the coaches were a big part in getting me to go to Toledo.
So, last season you got to practice, play with, and learn from NFL first-round draft pick Quinyon Mitchell. What was that like?
It's awesome. You got to watch a first-round pick. You got to watch everything he does. You want to just copy exactly what he does because, he's doing it right. So, if you can kind of get a little bit like that, you're not going to be steered too far off.
If you could pick two defensive backs to train with, learn from, watch film with, etc., who would you pick and why?
Number one, I'd probably choose Deion Sanders, the greatest defensive back of all time. It's kind of hard to not choose him. There's a lot you can learn from him mentally and just actual playing the game of football. And two, I'd probably put Q. Again, he's a first-round guy, came from Toledo. He did everything right and trying to be as much like him as I can.
So when you study film and watch wide receivers or tight ends, which things are you paying attention to the most? Their feet, their hips, or what is it?
A lot of the time when I'm watching film, another team or receiver, I like to notice their splits on different formations, their relations to receivers, and their splits are going to give you a key on what they're going to run most likely. Or some receivers have a tell, they're this foot up, they're going to run this foot up, they're going to do this release, the way they have their hands and little things like that you need to watch over and over again to give you a nod on what they're about to run that play.
When you study on film and watch quarterbacks, which things are you paying most attention to for a quarterback?
A lot of their tendencies and stuff like that. If they sense man, where they're going to get the ball quick right away, what route they might check to one of the receivers, things like that.
What do you feel is your main strength as a safety?
My main strength, I'd probably say my communication. I think I communicate really well with the rest of the DBs and the linebackers. And, a lot of part of football, if everyone's on the same page, it's even if you're wrong, if you're on the same page, you're doing something right. And I feel like I communicate really well and put myself and others on the team in good positions.
What is the area of your game that you've been working on the most this offseason?
I've really been trying to improve on just man-to-man coverage. The safeties most of the time we're not really on the receivers, a lot mostly on tight ends, and sometimes we get a receiver here and there. But I'm trying to improve my game where I can guard all running backs, tight ends, receivers whenever I need to.
What are your goals for 2024 and moving forward? They can be both team and personal goals.
We gotta win a MAC championship. That's number one. It's number one goal. I really just want to help out the team as best I can, whether that's special teams, defense, wherever they really need me. I'm trying to make as much of an impact as I can this year.
So, as we mentioned earlier, Kyle Rowland named you his Defensive Breakout Player in 2024 for Toledo. But we wanted to give you an opportunity to shout out some of your teammates. So, who are some other players you think we should know about for the Rockets before the 2024 season?
A couple of guys in the DB room: Avery Smith, Nasir Bowers, Andre Fuller, Zeke Blake. Those guys. I work out with them every week. We're always going after getting extra work. Those guys they're poised for a big year this year. They're always there, extra work on the field, in the weight room, studying film. They're always there at the facility. So I think those guys will have a big year this year.
All right. If someone has not seen you play, what one game would you recommend for them to watch? And it can be a game from high school or a game from college.
I'd probably say my junior year in high school playoffs, we played St. John's. That was probably one of my best games I've played yet. I had 2 pick sixes in that game. That's probably my best game, I guess, statistically wise, that I've had.
If you could replay a game, what one game would you like to replay and why? And again, it can be a college or a high school game.
Probably the MAC championship last year. That one hurt. Not losing. We had to rang off 11 straight in the regular season, and came up a little short in that one. So definitely would like to get that one back.
What opposing offensive player was the toughest for you to go against, and why? And it can even be someone that you have to go against and practice there at Toledo.
One of our receivers, Junior Vandross, he's really, really good. He tests me every practice. He's a really good receiver. He's shifty, fast guy. So I'd probably say him. He gives me good work every time we practice. It's good to go against guys like that. Like all of our receivers, really. We have one of the best receiving corps that we'll play all year, and it's good to practice with that every single day, every single week. It's going to make you better in the end.
Is there a particular routine that you have on game days, or a song or particular artist that you like to listen to before games?
I don't really know, like listening wise, but like routine, like more. I usually do the same thing every game day. Wake up, brush my teeth, shower, breakfast. Like when I get back, then we'll go through meetings, stuff like that. I usually kind of try to keep the same routine every single day, game day wise, whether it comes like the way I get dressed, the way I put my cleats on, stuff like that. Not that I'm super superstitious, but I kind of try to do the same thing the same way every time.
All right. What hobbies do you have outside of football?
I like to play a lot of video games. Play a lot of Warzone. Playing the new college football game a lot. It's a good time. And but yeah, I play a lot of video games. Like to hang out with friends a lot. But yeah.
So you mentioned the new EA Sports college football game. So I guess the most important question I feel like is PlayStation 5 or Xbox?
PS5. I most of my games on. I had a PC, but I had to get a new. I had to get a PS5 to play this new game. I couldn't miss out on it.
All right. I assume when you're playing the game, you're playing as Toledo.
Yeah. I played a lot of Toledo. It's been I don't know Toledo. Like we're only there were 79 in the game, but I was playing online yesterday. I beat this dude playing with Georgia. So I don't know. We got a team. Our team's pretty good on the new game, so it's nice. It's nice.
That's pretty good. What have you liked the most about the game?
Well, I don't. I mean, it's crazy seeing like just people I know. Like I see myself, see team. Like it's crazy seeing ourselves on the game. It's still a little weird, but it's super fun to play.
If you could pick one thing and change it about the game, what would that be?
the tackling. Tackling is so hard. I don't know. Dudes like I have so many just clips on my PlayStation of like receivers catching the ball and like quadruple coverage, getting hit stick by everybody, and they're still staying up and scoring touchdowns. Tackling the blocking. The O-line blocking is not great, but the tackling is definitely number one.
Do you think they did you justice with your rating in the game?
I was hoping something over. I was hoping something over a 65. I'll gladly take a 70. I'm very okay with that. You know, I got to prove myself, get it up a little bit more, but I'm very happy with my overall.
Awesome. What's your favorite defensive play call in the game?
I run a lot of cover 6 in the game, and I saw when I play Toledo, I run a lot of cover 6, and I'll put myself in as like sub linebacker. And I was using myself over the middle, so I've been doing a lot. Does me good for most of the time.
Pretty cool. Do you plan to play as yourself in the road to glory, or are you just gonna play Dynasty? Yeah.
I just started a Dynasty, but I did make myself a player in the Road to Glory, or was it Road to Glory?
Yeah, Road to Glory.
Yeah. I made myself. I haven't played too much of that. I've mostly just playing my friends online and stuff like that. But I did play a few games. Went to Toledo, had to. But yeah, it's a good time.
That's pretty cool. What's your favorite meal? What's your favorite thing to eat?
I love Chick-fil-A. I go to Chick-fil-A probably 3-4 times a week. I don't know. I get Chick-fil-A way more than anybody could even like think about getting Chick-fil-A. But yeah, Chick-fil-A, I gotta get a spicy chicken sandwich and fries. That's probably my favorite meal that I eat.
Awesome. Yeah, Chick-fil-A is hard to pass on. I mean, obviously you can't get it on Sundays, but the other 6 days of the week, it's good stuff. If you could sit down and have a conversation with any 3 people of your choosing, they could be dead or alive, who would you choose and why?
I'd probably go with 3 basketball players here, but Kobe, LeBron, and Michael Jordan. They're the best of the best. Their mentality is different than everybody else. They're like just the way they approach the game of their sport. Like no one does it like them. So I'd probably say those 3 because they're going to give me insight that would help me out in my sport. It's a little bit different, but they're just different when it comes to things like that.
Absolutely. If you had to tell an aspiring high school player what the hardest part of playing college football is, what would it be and why?
I'd probably say the time commitment. For me, it wasn't too terrible because from my high school, we were there all day watching film, stuff like that. So like the time difference wasn't too drastic, but definitely the time commitment because you're there, especially in fall camp, you're there literally all day. Like you have no time, you don't have free time. It's a grind. Everyone's working as hard as they can. You always got to stay on top of your game if you want to get on the field. But the time commitment because you're there all day, every day. And the days that you have off, you got to be up there if you wanna get on the field. Got to be working.
Did you enroll early in January last year, or was it more in the summer? Or
so I was at like almost every spring practice my senior year. I didn't early enroll, but I would come and visit for almost every spring practice. And then, but I came like in the summer, I came like middle of May. So I was a few weeks earlier than like the rest of the freshmen, but I came in the summer. Yeah.
Did you take any classes over the summer before fall camp, or?
Yeah. I took a English class and then I took a math class last summer.
Would you say like that's helpful for freshmen if they're not going to enroll early to at least get there early in the summer to kind of get acclimated and taking some classes before they start full swing into fall camp?
Yeah, the summer classes last year were definitely super important because, then during the fall, I didn't have to take as many classes. So it was easier. I could focus a little more on football. But the summer classes were definitely super helpful.
All right. Well, let's get you out on a fun question here. Coach Candle comes in and says, "No need for pads today, boys. Grab your running shoes. We are doing laps." What position group does your mind immediately go to that caused it?
Probably say the DBs. You know, we probably hit a receiver in 7-on-7. It was just thud. You know, probably took someone to the ground, and you probably got a little tired of it. That would be my initial thought.
Yeah, I mean that's DBs is the most common answer, and you're actually the second DB that we interviewed that actually said DBs. So yeah, definitely the most common answer that we've gotten for whatever reason. But hey, Braden, we want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to spend with us. We greatly appreciate it. And like I said, we're looking forward to seeing you and the rest of the Rockets here on the field here in a couple weeks.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're listening in podcast form, please rate and review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Thank you all for your support. And until the next time, we are the G5 Hive.